The Jester is a very powerful event tower that players usually judge it from two different categories. One, they use it regularly and recognizes its versatility and flexibility, or secondly, they had completely forgotten of its existence and had only realized it while surfing through their inventory for a good tower. As you might have guessed that, now I'm the second category. I had only realized its potential of being an insanely good event tower only after one match, which got me thinking, is Jester really the best event tower in the game right now? Because think about it, if you take the Gladiator or the Executioner, they both have pretty obvious weaknesses and obvious strengths. Both their main uses are to, shred through early game zombies with its high DPS and cheap price, allowing the player to safely farm for more better and expensive towers. Considering of Executioner's sub-ability to detect and attack flying zombies, which comes in pretty handy when you're trying to triumph hardcore or some other event game modes like the one that's going on right now. And in my opinion, those are some of the best event towers too. Gladiator's damage with its ability is able to take out many zombies in mid to late game with ease, at least back then. So then why am I even talking about the Jester in the first place when it can't even do all of that at all? Well, one thing, if a zombie with over at least 1000 HP has entered your base, you lose, right? Well, the Jester can say Uno reverse card, you're all going back to your base, because at max level, the Jester gains a special ability called Confusion to completely change the direction of the zombies 180 degrees, allowing your towers to deal more damage. And just this alone is enough to dethrone all the other event towers with no trouble, since when you are attempting to triumph other extremely hard game modes like hardcore, the ability to save just a bit more time from the zombies going to your base will be a lifesaver. Jester also has a placement limit of 8, which is, to be honest, more than enough to exploit its ability. Just spam a couple of them throughout the map and you'll be fine. One of the best examples of how a tower like this was so overpowered in the first place was the Toxic Gunner, since the Toxic Gunner used to be a mainstay for many players due to it being able to slow down zombies, including the big bosses, which was a game changer back then since it allowed many players the ability to triumph the so-called secret wave that existed back in the day. But then it got nerfed, so yeah, there's that. Of course, the Jester has a few obvious weaknesses, like it doesn't deal enough damage to defeat a large boss, or its range being quite small comparing to other event towers like the Executioner or the Cryomancer. However, this can be combated with the towers you are already using in the first place, so it's no big deal. And the Jester in itself is still a really good tower to pick for early game, since not only does he have one ability, he has multiple of them. I guess I'll just briefly explain each of them just in case if you don't know. Fire is quite obvious, just damage over time. Ice is just slowing down enemies. Poison is just damage over time. Additionally, permanently shreds zombies defense too, so it's just a better version of the fire thing. I think it's up to 50% of the total enemy's defense, meaning that your towers will just have a fiesta of damage supreme whilst you just co-chain and chill. And of course, the final one is Confusion, the OP ability. That's, able to turn the zombies to 180 degrees back to the base, yeah. Oh, and I almost forgot. In its max level, the Jester is able to shoot out 2 types of bombs at once. So yeah, you can put one bomb with Confusion and the other one with Poison because, so Confusion doesn't stack. There's of course still a cooldown to its Confusion effect since Below just didn't want the zombies to just track field back to the entrance. There's not much memorable mentions about the first 2 abilities, so I'll just leave it at that. And so now let's compare the Jester with the other event towers, since of course, as I had briefly explained about the Gladiator, it is still one of the best towers in the game, at least in my opinion. And to be honest, only using the tower alone, the Jester will 100% be unable to hold off the many zombies throughout the match, at least I think, leading to Gladiator winning by standalone damage. However, if we take in account of its abilities, Gladiator will not only be able to do a set amount of damage to a certain enemy until it just passes through the Gladiator's short range, whilst the Jester is able to have many ideas incorporated to this one singular enemy. Poison, Confusion, there are many different creative strategies you can input with the Jester itself, and for the Gladiator you just... yeah, that's it. Plus, there's a silent nerf to the Gladiator where it just stands and just chills for a few seconds before it is able to swing its sword again, which is extremely annoying to time, but it is what it is. There's also another nerf to the Gladiator where it's just like unable to penetrate 3 more zombies, which is also like annoying as hell, but it is what it is. For most if not all the event towers, the Jester just does the job easier and better overall, due to its multiple abilities basically becoming an amalgamation of event towers stitched into one. How to use the tower though is quite easy too. Literally all you have to do is don't place the Jester near the entrance. That's it. It'll not affect you in the early game, but once you are able to purchase its max level, the Confusion effect will have a very minimal effect compared to if it was actually used in the middle of the map, where it of course makes the zombies get Uno reverse card. I don't think I have much else to say other than that. I think if you want an in-depth explanation about the Jester, you can just check out Corsko or some other TDS tubers. And so with that, let's just wrap up this video quickly, I guess. The Jester is good because of its Confusion ability. That is literally all I wanted to rant about. It can confuse bosses, normal zombies, literally any zombie the game right now, it'll just confuse them. And that's just overpowered, straight up. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you for watching. Smash sub button, cause why not, and like video, cause I'm cool. And I am Mootsie, I'll be hibernating once again. Bye bye.